Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. We got game two of a doubleheader between the Boston Red Sox and New York Yankees. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for game two of this doubleheader on April 30th. Leading off for the Red Sox playing third base, Jimmy Collins. Batting second, playing second, Pete Rowlands. Batting third, playing center field, Dom DiMaggio. Batting fourth, playing left field, Ted Williams. Batting fifth, playing right field, Jackie Jensen. Batting sixth, playing shortstop, Vern Stevens. Batting seventh and playing first base, Bucky Freeman. Batting eighth and doing the catching is Sammy White. And on the mound, the Dutchman batting ninth, Dutch Leonard. And for the hometown New York Yankees, leading off playing second base, Tony Lazzeri. Batting second, playing shortstop, Phil Rizzuto. Batting third, playing left field, Babe Ruth. Batting fourth, playing right field, Mickey Mantle. Batting fifth, playing first base, Lou Gehrig. Batting sixth, playing center field, Joe DiMaggio. Batting seventh and doing the catching is Bill Dickey. Batting eighth and playing third is Gil McDougal. And on the mound, batting ninth is Bob Sharkey. Let's get down to Yankee Stadium and get this game going. And leading off for the Boston Red Sox is Jimmy Collins, batting 231, 2 homers and 5 RBIs, going up against Bob Sharkey. He's leading the American League with that 0.6 ERA. This is his third start. He's 1-0. And here's the pitch to Collins. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. And a 46 and an 8. 46 and an 8. Is going to be fielding column 1, and that's going to be an error on Tony. That's an E4. Gets the leadoff batter aboard here. Not what the Yankees want to see. And that brings up Pete Rowlands now. And Pete's batting 136. On the year, no homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball out to DiMaggio in center. Joe makes the catch for out number 1. And here comes his brother, Dom, the other Yankee in this, other DiMaggio in this game. Batting $130, no homers, and 4 RBIs. And that's going to be a 2 balls and no strike count on him. 2-0 pitch, and he walks the hard way. And now you got first and second, and 1 out, and not who you 1 up now is Ted Williams with runners in scoring position. And 1 out. Williams is hitting the heck out of the ball. Hitting .474 right now with 7 homers and 17 RBIs. And that's going to be 2 balls and no strikes on Williams. Bob's having trouble with control here early. And that's going to be a base hit, in the left field. And Jimmy will come around to score. And DiMaggio will stop at second. So the error and the walks bite him in the butt. Ted Williams delivers on a. Let's see here. Wait a second. Let's go back. We had looking at the wrong card. That might be worse than what I thought. Worse than what I thought here. That's going to be a double in the right field. And that might score DiMaggio from first. Let's see here. 36. Nah, DiMaggio is going to stop at third. So that's going to be an RBI double for Williams. And we got second and third and only 1 out. The Yankees are going to bring the infield in early in this game as Philip Reynolds joins us. Not wanting to give up too many runs. Jackie Jensen's up batting 238, 4 homers and 11 RBIs. And that's going to be another base on balls. Shockey can't find the strike zone here so far. That brings the bases loaded. Yankees will play back for the double play now. Vern Stevens is up batting 324, 3 homers and 8 RBIs. And that's going to be a 20. And that's going to be a fly ball out the right field. Mick makes the catch. And that'll be fielding column 1, 56. And DiMaggio's probably going to score easily here. And DiMaggio, let's see if Williams can tag up and go to third. That'll be the question. 55. Williams is going to try to get down to third. That'll be a 27. So the play's going to be down to third. And a 53 or lower, they get Williams out at third. And he's safe at third. So that's a sacrifice fly. One runner scores, the other one gets down to third. We got first and third now and 2 outs. And it's a 2-0 ball game here in the top of the first. And Freeman's up now. All this started with walks and errors. And Freeman's up batting 129, no homers and 1 RBI. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Lou. And he's going to throw it down the second. And that'll end the inning. But the Red Sox scored 2. Let's see if I think both of them was unearned. I think both runs was unearned. Let's see here. Take a look at the box score. Yep, both runs were unearned. We go to the bottom of the second here. We got Tony, Phil, and Ruth due up here. Tony Lazzeri's batting .333. He's got a 6-game hitting streak. And he's got 2 homers and 4 RBIs going against the Dutchman, Dutch Leonard. This is his 3rd appearance. He's 0-2 with a 6.92 ERA. Here's the pitch for Tony. And that's going to be a 26. That's going to be a ground ball down the short. Burns up with it. He fires down the first for out number 1. Wonder why that's still in red up there. Let's do something once here. Let's save the game. Come back and see if that gets rid of that red up there. Yeah, there we go. And now you got Phil Rizzuto up batting $152 with 1 homer and 5 RBIs. Can Phil get aboard here with 1 out? And that's going to be a ground ball out in front of the plate. 55 on an 8. 55 on an 8. And that's going to be fielding column 2. And that's going to be a strikeout. He's going to have to fire down the first there to get it. So that's 2 down now. And up to the plate comes Babe Ruth. And Ruth's batting .325, 7 homers and 14 RBIs. And that's a base on balls. Babe's aboard here with a walk. And that brings up the Mick now. Mano's hitting .159, 2 homers and 6 RBIs. And that's going to be against the lefty. That'll be a 26. Runner on at first. 26. That's going to be a base hit in the center field. And Ruth's going to get down to third. So the Yankees have got a 2-out rally started here. First and third now for Lou Gehrig. Can the Yankees get these runs right back? Runner down at third's Ruth. Runner at first, Mick. And Lou's at the plate, batting .429. 7 homers and 13 RBIs. Here's the pitch to Lou. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes Gehrig out. The Yankees strand 2 to the top of the second we go. Bottom part of the order due up here. White, Leonard, and back to the top. and Collins. You see the team comparisons. Boston's 5-6. They've scored 50 runs on 21 homers, 1 stolen base. Haven't been caught. The Yankees are 7-5, 64 runs scored, 36 homers, 3 stolen bases, and haven't been caught. Sam's batting .086, no homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a rare play, 38 on a 13. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field. DiMaggio's out there. And he's going to make a nice catch for out number 1. One down here in the top of the second. And that's going to bring up Dutch Leonard now. And Dutch Leonard is 0 for 5 on the year. Here's the pitch to the Dutchman. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. And Bob strikes him out. So now there's 2 down and nobody on, and we're back to the top of the order. And Jimmy Collins is up now. Collins reached on an error and came around to score in the top of the first. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Mick. 1, 2, 3 goes the Red Sox. We go to the second inning. We got Joe DiMaggio, Bill Dickey, and McDougal due up. See the Yankees' upcoming schedule. They leave Yankee Stadium and go to Baltimore to take on the Orioles for 3. Then they travel to Chicago to take on the White Sox. DiMaggio's batting .220 on the year, 2 homers and 6 RBIs. And that's going to be a base on balls. That brings the tying run up to the plate and Bill Dickey. And Bill Dickey is batting .211 on the year. He has 1 homer and 2 RBIs. Here's the pitch to Dickey. And that's going to be against the lefty of 27. That's going to be a ground ball down back to the mound. Matter of fact, that's a swing and a miss. He strikes Dickey out. That's out number 1. Glenn McDougal's up now. And he is 0 for 7 on the year. Not anymore, folks, because he blasts that ball in the center field. Let's make sure against the lefty of 22. Yep. 22. That's going to be blasted in right field, rather. And let's see here if Joe can score on this double. It'll be a 42 minus a 35 plus a 7 plus a 17, a 24 or lower. 24, a 46 or lower, and Joe's in there. And he's in there. That's an RBI double by Glenn. His first base hit of the year. Drives in 1 and cuts the lead in half. It's 2-1, Boston. And Bob's up now with a runner in scoring position. Can Bob help his own cause? He's 0 for 5 on the year. It's Ken Castro joins us here. And let's see if Bob can help his own cause, folks. That's going to be a fly ball out to center field. DiMaggio makes the catch. And Gill's going to stay put at second. Now there's 2 outs, and we're back to the top of the order. Can Tony tie this ball game up? Tony's been hitting the ball well. He grounded out the short his first time up. And that's going to be hit down the short. And let's see, a 56 on a 9. 56 on a 9 is going to be fielding column 2. And that's going to be a first on air. The runner's going to get down the third. That's an E6. As Vern throws that ball in the dirt, Freeman can't come up with it. So we got first and third now for Phil Rizzuto. Can Phil deliver here with 2 outs? See if he can make the Red Sox pay for an error here and get an unearned run. Phil struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball out in front of the plate, a 34 on an 8. 34 on an 8 should be fielding column 1, and it is. And with the infield back, and that's going to be a ground ball in front of the plate. White's up with it, fires down the first, and that ends the inning. The Yankees strand 2, but score 1. Cut this lead in half. It's 2-1. So we go to the top of the third. Rollins, DiMaggio, and Williams is due up. Pete flew out to DiMaggio his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Mick in right field for out number 1. And here comes brother Dom up to the plate. He walked and came around to score his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Tony. He fires over the first 2 quick outs. Here comes Ted Williams. He had an RBI double his first time up. Still hitting well. And that's going to be a base on balls. Williams down at first. And that brings up Jackie Jensen now. And Jensen, he walked his first time up. And that's going to be a pop-up down the short. And Rizzuto makes the catch, and that ends the inning. Ted gets stranded at first. To the bottom of the third we go with the big boys coming up. Ruth, Mano, and Gehrig. Babe walked his first time up. Here's the pitch to Ruth. And that's going to be another base on balls. Can't blame him from walking Ruth. Until Mick starts hitting, I'd be pitching to Mick too. Mick is batting 178. He did have a single his first time up, though. And that's going to be a runner down at first. On the 35, that's going to be a foul ball. And White takes his mask off, makes the catch for out number 1. Here comes Lou Gehrig up now. And Lou's 0 for 1 today. He struck out his first time up. And that's going to be another strikeout. So Lou strikes out for the second time. That leaves it up to DiMaggio here. That leadoff walk. Can he make the Red Sox pay? DiMaggio walked his first time up and came around to score the only run for the Yankees. And that's going to be a fly ball out to his brother in center. That ends the inning. The leadoff walk doesn't hurt. We go to the top of the fourth. As you can see, the Red Sox ain't hitting. They're only hitting $195. Imagine what their batting average would be without Williams. They got an on-base percentage of .294, slugging of .387, and an OPS of .680. The Yankees are batting .234, an on-base percentage of .309, slugging of .413, and an OPS of .722. We got Vern Stevens followed by Freeman and White. Vern's had a sacrifice fly his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to DiMaggio in center. Joe makes the catch. 1 down here in the fourth. And Bucky Freeman's up now. Freeman grounded into a fielder's choice his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the field with short. Over to Lou for 2 down. And Sammy White's up now. And Sammy, he flew out to DiMaggio his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. 43 on an 8. Should be fielding column 1. And it is. And that's a nice play down at second by Tony. He scoops it up, fires over, and that's a 1-2-3 inning. To the bottom of the fourth we go. We got the bottom part of the order due up here. Dickey, McDougal, and Shawkey. And Dickey struck out his first time up. And that's going to be another swing and a miss. The Dutchman strikes him out for the second time. see Boston's upcoming schedule. They stay on the road. They're going to go down to D.C. to take on the Senators. Then after that 3-game series, they go to Detroit to take on the Tigers. Gil had that RBI double his first time up. And that's going to be against the lefty, 22. That's going to be a fly ball out the left field. Ted Williams makes the catch for out number 2. And it's up to Bob to keep this inning alive. He flew out the center his first time up. And that's going to be a base on balls. Walking the pitcher's never a good sign. Can Tony make them pay for it here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th? Tony is 0 for 2. He's grounded out and reached on an error. And he drives this ball out into the outfield. Let's see where it lands at. And that ball is blasted into right field down the first base line. Jensen gets over. And with 2 outs, that should score Bob from first. Let's see here. A 27, a 53 or lower, Bob scores. And they throw him out at the plate. Jackie Jensen with a nice play out there in right field throws him out. Bob's out at the plate. Cuts down the tying run. To the top of the 5th we go. Jackie Jensen saves a run. And we got the Dutchman due up, followed by Collins and Rollins. And Dutch, he struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. Rizzuto's up with it, no problem. And now we're back to the top of the order, and Jimmy Collins. And Jimmy, he's reached on an error and came around the score and flew out the mix. And that's a base on balls. Don't need that. Don't need to be walking these guys at the top of the order. That brings up Pete now. Can the Yankees get a double play ball out of him? He's flown out to center and right. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Rizzuto. That should be column number 1. 1 of 9. It is. And they're going to get the runner. They're going to get the batter out. Rizzuto's up with it. Fires over to first. Now there's 2 outs. And the runner in scoring position for DiMaggio. And Dom is 0 for 1. He's walked, came around the score, and grounded out the second. And that's going to be a 20. That's going to be a fly ground ball down the short. Rizzuto's up with it again. Again, he throws over to Lou. And the leadoff walk doesn't go nowhere. Oh, it wasn't a leadoff walk. It was a 1-out walk. And we're going to the bottom of the 5th. Rizzuto, Ruth, and Mantle due up. Phil's 0 for 2. He struck out and grounded out to the catcher. And that's going to be a rare play, a 39 on a 33. And a 39. That's going to be hit out the right field. Jackie Jensen's out there. Already made 1 good play, a 34 and a 2. 34 and a 2 should be fielding column 2. And it is 33 was a 7, right? Yep. And that's going to be a single to right. And again, he's going to throw the runner out trying to advance to second. So a single in the right. And the batter's out trying to stretch it into a double. Jackie Jensen is gunning them down, folks. They didn't throw him out. So let's redo that again here. So that's a single in the right field. Single in the right field. And the batter is out trying to advance. I did it wrong. I did it wrong. I got him advancing this time. See what I did wrong that time. So a single. And now he should get thrown out. And getting thrown out with Babe Ruth do up is not what you want to see. So now there's nobody on. And one out for Ruth. Ruth's walked 2 times today. And not this time. That ball is high. That ball is far. Kiss it goodbye, baby. That ball is hit out to right field. And that's why you don't try to advance on that single. But it's a tie ball game. Ruth ties it up. It's 2 apiece. And up comes Mick now. Mick is 1 for 2. He singled and popped up in the foul territory. And that's going to be a fly ball. Jensen's got room out there to make that catch for out number 2. And Lou Gehrig's up now. And Lou's 0 for 2. He struck out twice. Going for the hat trick, Dutch is, but no. Boom. He doesn't miss this one. That ball is high. That ball is far. Another homer, and it's a 3-2 Yankee lead. Lou and Babe hit home runs here in the 5th, and they're lighting the Dutchman up. And now it's DiMaggio's up. He's 0 for 1. He's walked and flown out the center. And he makes an attempt. That was a big swing trying to hit another homer, but he strikes out DiMaggio. We go to the top of the 6th. It's a 3-2 lead here. We got Williams, Jensen, and Stevenson due up here. And Ted, he has walked and doubled and drove in a run. This is how you want Ted up with nobody on, that's for sure. And that's going to be a ground ball down the 3rd. That'll be out number 1. And Jackie Jensen's up now. And Jackie is 0 for 1. He's walked and popped up the short. And here's the pitch to Jackie. And that's going to be another ground ball down the 3rd. And McDougal's up with it and fires it over to Lou again. 2 ground balls, 2 outs. Vern Stevens up. He's 0 for 1 with a sacrifice fly and flown out the center. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Bob strikes him out. To the bottom of the 6th we go. The bottom part of the order due up here against the Dutchman. You got Dickey, McDougal, and Shawkey due up. Dickey's 0 for 2. He struck out twice. The Dutchman trying to get the hat trick on Dickey, and that's going to be a rare play. 38 and a 24. And that's going to be strike 1 on Dickey. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Can he do something with an 0-1 pitch? And that's going to be another 38, 34, and a 38. And that's going to be strike 2 on him. So now the 0-2 pitch on Dickey. And that's going to be against the lefty, a 27 on a 9. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Ted in left field for out number 1. And that brings up Glenn McDougal. And Glenn, he's 1 for 2 with a RBI double, flew out to Ted. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field. And you got a runner down at first and 1 out. Bob's going to try to bunt him over to second, get him in scoring position for Tony. And on a 32, that's going to be a bunted down the 3rd. Collins is up with it. And he'll fire over to first with Freeman covering. And Bob gets the job done. And there's now 2 down and runner in scoring position for Tony. What happened here? So Tony's up now with a runner in scoring position. Yankees would love to add some insurance runs here. And Tony's 1 for 3. He doubled in the last time up in the fourth. He reached on an error in the second and grounded out in the first. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Pete, his counterpart at second. He throws over the Freeman, and that'll end the inning. And the Yankees strand one. We go to the top of the seventh. It's 3-2 New York. You got Freeman, White, and probably a pitch hitter for the Dutchman. And Buck is 0 for 2. Grounded into a fielder's choice and grounded out the second. And that's going to be a fly ball to Mick in right field for out number 1. And Sammy White's up. He's flown out the center, grounded out the second. And that's going to be a rare play of 24 on a 36. 24 on a 36 is going to be ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch to White. And that's going to be against the righty, a 21. So we closed the book, didn't want to do that. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Mickey. 2 fly balls to right, 2 outs. And they're going to pitch hit here for the Dutchman, trailing here in the 7th. And let's see who's going to come out of the dugout here. They got 3 lefties on the bench. I think they're going to go with Doc Kramer. Is going to come off the bench here and try to get on here with 2 outs. The Doc. Somebody called the Doc. See what the Doc can do. Doc Kramer comes out of the dugout and grabs a bat. And Kramer's batting .333. No homers and 1 RBI. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Bob strikes him out. That ends the top of the 7th. We go to the 7th inning stretch. It's 3-2 New York. Let's see here. Red Sox have no lefties in the bullpen, folks. So they're going to go with Joe Dobson's going to come out and pitch here. Like I say, they don't have a lefty in the pen. So Dobson. Joe's coming out of the bullpen. Try to keep this a 1-run game. Yankees trying to add some insurance. They got the 2, 3, 4 hitters up. Rizzuto, Ruth, and Mantle against Joe. Joe's 4th appearance, no record with a 3.6 ERA. Rizzuto's 1 for 3. Struck out, grounded out, and singled his last time up. And that's going to be a base on balls, and you don't want to do that with the big boys coming up. Phil down at first with Ruth and Mantle coming up next. Ruth's already homered in this game. He tied it up back in 5th inning with a solo shot. And Lou came up and gave the Yankees a lead with a homer in that same inning. Ruth has walked twice and homered. Here's the pitch to Babe Ruth. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Jackie Jensen. He makes the catch for out number 1. And here comes the Mick. Mick, he's going to turn her around and bat from the left side now. He's 1 for 3. He singled, popped up, and flew out the right. And that's going to be against the righty. 15 on an 8. And that's going to be a fly ball out to left field. And Williams has got it. Now there's 2 outs. Here's Lou. Lou Gehrig hit a homer his last time up to give the Yankees the lead. He struck out twice and homered. And that's going to be a fly ball out to DiMaggio. So the leadoff walk goes nowhere. We go to the top of the 8th. It's a 1-run game. you got Collins. Rollins and DiMaggio due up here in the 8th. And Collins is 0 for 2. He's reached on an error. He has flown out the right and walked. Came around the score one, the first on that error. And that's going to be a base on balls. Don't want to start this. Collins down at first. And now you got Pete Rollins up. And Pete, I think they're going to do a little hit and run here. Try to stay out of the double play. And a 35 on a hit and run. That'll be the catcher. 25. That'll be fielding column 1. And that's going to be a strike. And Dickey throws him out trying to steal. Now there's 1 out. Nobody on. An 0-1 pitch to Pete Rollins. Nice job by Dickey. And Pete's 0 for 3. Here's the pitch to him. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field. Of course it is after a runner gets thrown out. So now you got another runner at first, this time with 1 out. And DiMaggio's up. And they're going to get Page up in the bullpen with the lefties coming up. And Williams, they're not going to let Bob pitch to him with the game on the line. So Page will warm up. And DiMaggio's 0 for 2. Yankees looking for a double play. So Ted has to lead off the top of the 9th. DiMaggio's 0 for 2. He has grounded out twice and walked and came around the score. And that's going to be 2 balls and no strikes on DiMaggio. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And that ball is lifted in the right field for out number 2. And like we said, that's going to be it for Bob. He goes 7 2/3. And they're going to bring in Page for a 4-out save here. See if he can get the job done against Williams here, the lefty. So Joe Page comes out of the bullpen. 1 on, 2 outs. This is Page's 5th game. He's 0-1 with 3 saves with a 4.5 ERA. Here's the pitch to Williams, and that's going to be a swing and a miss, I believe. Yep, he strikes Ted out. Teddy Baseball's not happy with that call. I locked him up. Page throws Uncle Charlie across the plate. And you always heard if Williams doesn't swing at it, it's not a strike, but he's called out. To the bottom of the 8th we go. We got DiMaggio, Dickey, and McDougal due up here. And Joe's 0 for 2. He has walked, flown out the center, and struck out. And that's going to be a base on balls. DiMaggio's aboard here with a leadoff walk. And that'll bring up Bill Dickey. Dickey's had a rough game here. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a fly out the left. And that's going to be a tailor-made double play down to Pete. That's going to be the old 4-6-3 double play. And now with 2 outs and nobody on, Gill's up. And Gill is having a good game. He's 2 for 3 with an RBI double. He's flown out the left and singled. And that's going to be a ground ball in front of the plate. And White makes the play, fires down the first. That ends the inning. To the top of the 9th we go. Yankees trying to hold on to this 3-2 lead. Page will be facing Jensen, Stevenson, and Freeman. Let's see who they're getting up. They're getting Eddie up in the pen in case they need him. Well, he's another lefty. That's one thing. The Yankees got plenty of lefties out there. So Ed's getting up. Red's getting up. Ruffin getting up just in case. And Jackie Jensen is 0 for 2. He's walked, popped up, and grounded out. And that's going to be against the lefty. That'll be a 17. And it's It's going to be a fly ball in the left field. Ruth makes the catch for out number 1. And Vern Stevens steps up to the plate. Vern's 0 for 2. He's got a sacrifice. He's flown out and struck out. And that's a base on balls. Page walks him. Don't want to see that. And this might be Page's last batter, Freeman. You got White due up after that, and then a pitch hitter. What's the bench look like? Mainly got righties on the bench. Tony lefty. They got 2 lefties on the bench. Johnny Pesky and Billy Goodman. So we'll see here. Here's Buck Freeman. Freeman's 0 for 3. Grounded into fielder's choice. Grounded out the second. Flew out the right. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. They'll get Vern out at second, but they're unable to double up Buck. So Buck's down at first now with 2 outs for Sammy White. Red Sox down to the last out. Sammy's 0 for 3. He's flown out the center. He's flown out the right and grounded out the second. And that's going to be another ground ball to Tony. He goes over to first, and that's your ball game, folks. The Yankees win 3-2 and sweep the doubleheader here in New York. Homers killed old Dutchman. Let's take a look here at the box score. 2 home runs in the 5th inning did him in. Ruth and Lou going deep. The Yankees 3 runs on 7 hits and 1 error. SHAWKEY did a great job. Remember, both of those runs are unearned. 2 runs in the top of the first, both of them unearned. Excuse me, 2 runs on only 2 hits and 1 error. The 2 hits were by Rollins and Ted Williams, 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position. They took advantage of their opportunity. They didn't have many. They left 6 men on base, the Red Sox did. And Gil McDougall's the only Yankee with 2 hits, but Ruth and Gary go deep. 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. The home runs did in the Red Sox. Yankees left 8 men on base. The Dutchman goes to 0-3, 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, walked 4, struck out 6, and gave up 2 dingers. Dobson comes in, does a good job. 2 innings, walked 2. And Bob picks up his second win, goes 7 2/3, 2 hits, 2 unearned runs, walked 5. He's going to drop that ERA down to 0.4. Walked 5 though, struck out 3. Page comes in, pitches inning and a third, his 4th save of the year, walked 1 and struck out 1. We'll take a look here at the standings and the leaderboard. And that's the final game in the American League. So this will be your standings after April. At the end of the month, Yankees, Tigers, and Indians tied at 8-5 record for first. White Sox are at 500. They're a game and a half back. The Senators 7-8, 2 games back. Orioles and Red Sox are 2.5 games back. The Orioles 6-8, the Red Sox 5-7, and the A's are 5-9, 3.5 games back. Ted Williams is still leading the American League with that 4.63 ERA. Lou and Babe now tied in the lead for 8 home runs, and Ted with that homer, double rather, picks up his 18th RBI. Leading American League. And like I say, shocking, he drops his ERA to 0.4. And you got Ed Walsh with 3 saves on the year. And Joe Page takes over the saves lead with 4 now in the American League. And Ted Williams is leading in the MVP race, and Ed Walsh is leading in the Best Pitcher award. So our next game is going to be, if I remember correctly, it's the Pirates traveling up to New York to take on the Giants in a 2-game series, I believe. I believe that's only a 2-game series. They don't play a doubleheader on the 30th. I know they play on the 29th. Yeah, they play on the 29th. And they play on the 30th, and then on the 1st, the Giants stay home and the Cubs play them in New York. So it's a 2-game series. Be the next game on the channel. Pirates and the Giants. Kimmer against Rossi. That should be a damn good pitching matchup. See what happens there. I want to thank Ken Castro and Philip Reynolds. Check out Philip Reynolds' great channel for stopping by today. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell for reminders. Ring that bell. And on your way out of Yankee Stadium, hit that like button and leave a comment. Until the next time, folks, you guys have a great day and take care.